My next guest, he's fighting one of my countrymen, Kyle Nelson, coming up here on September 12th at UFC Fight Night. Is Billy Quarantillo joining me here on the program yet again. Billy, how's it going, man?
I'm doing great, James. Thanks for having me right now, and especially, being a rival, if you will.
It's all good. I'm not biased, so don't worry about that. But, congrats on getting this fight. I know you've wanted to get in there for a while. When did you find out? Because it seemed like you had a decent amount of notice for this one.
Yeah, it was good, man. I think they gave us about 6 weeks. So, obviously I tested positive for COVID back in I think it was June or July with, for the Matt Frivola fight. And I was actually trying to look to fight, around this time anyway. And basically it took about 6 weeks to finally get a negative result after, a positive, then some inconclusive testing. And then pretty much the day that I got the negative result, we sent it in to Sean Shelby. And that day they said, you want to fight Kyle Nelson? And yeah, we said, hell yeah, let's do it.
Did you know much about Kyle before taking the fight?
I didn't. I actually didn't. The name wasn't familiar. But then I looked him up and I saw his last fight where he beat Polo Reyes. And I actually realized that I rooted for him in that fight because, I just didn't. I'm not a big fan of guys that test positive for steroids, and especially Polo Reyes has a win over Matt. So I was actually happy to see him knock out Polo Reyes. So I actually cheered for him back then, but I didn't put the names together. But then when I saw that, I was aware of who he was, and I think it's a great matchup, and it's going to be a fun fight.
What do you know about him now that you've had a chance to sort of dig in a little bit deeper? How do you feel like you match up against him here?
Yeah, I watched that fight, and I watched the other UFC fights. We both knocked out Kama Worthy back before we got to the show, and I really like the matchup. He's a tough fighter, but I think I got a lot of weapons for him, and I have a lot of advantages in this fight. I actually listened to your. I actually listened to your interview with him, which I think he gave away a lot of strategy in that fight, or in his plans. He sounds a little overconfident, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens. He thinks he's going to knock me out early on, and obviously I don't think that's going to happen at all. So let the best man win.
Yes, for sure. Well, thanks for watching my interviews, and glad to see it was help to you in this fight, which I think is awesome. Training camp, I got a bit of some insight from Matt Frivola, who I did interview last week, I think, ahead of his camp. So it sounds like everything's going really well. You guys have got a really good camp out there in Florida.
Yeah, we're lucky to have everything pretty much opened up here. So for the Spike Carlisle fight, I wasn't able to go to the gym. I was only able to go once. I was able to go like once every few days and have like a very limited group of people that we were able to train with. I wasn't able to go to my strength and conditioning gym. For this fight, I've been able to go to my strength and conditioning gym. I actually just left there a few minutes ago. The guys at Driven, they do a great job getting me stronger for each fight, stronger, quicker, faster. So it's a lot different. It feels a lot more normal than my last camp. So I think you're going to see a more improved, sharper Billy Quarantillo fighting this time around than last fight.
You mentioned getting COVID. Have you felt any of the effects of that since having it? Because I know some people have some lung issues or whatever. Were there any bad symptoms like that you've still had in training camp?
No, not really. I don't know if it affected my cardio at all. Right now, everything feels great. Right after it, when I tested positive, they said, do you feel any different? And I remember I had kind of like a stuffy nose that whole week. And then eating certain foods, I couldn't really taste that well, as strongly as I normally could. And right now I feel completely fine. So I did my COVID test yesterday for the UFC, and I'm just praying that, everything's good to go and that we can go out there and, put on a show for everyone.
On that same note, how's the weight cut going ahead of this fight?
It's going good. And, last fight, I actually wanted to fight at 145 last time at featherweight, but it was Spike's idea to, their camp's idea to fight at 150. And I figured he would have a bit of a size advantage. And so this fight, the weight cut's going great. And I'll be able to make 145, 146, pretty easily. I've been able to lift weights and do a lot of the things I'm used to doing. So not only am I going to be a little bit smaller to make weight, but I'm going to be actually a lot stronger and a lot faster than I was last fight.
Very cool. And who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
Oh, so this fight, last time Favola was in my corner, so this time he's going to be fighting. So it's going to be my head coach, Matt Arroyo, who has been with me for every single fight that I've had, essentially. And happy birthday to him. It's his 38th birthday today. So Matt Arroyo is, he's my head coach, my jiu-jitsu coach. My coach, Crudan Rawlings, who's been my Muay Thai coach for the last, 6 or 7 years. And then my brother, Jim Quarantillo, who he's flying in from Virginia, and he's been in my corner a bunch of times as well. It worked out really well because last time he actually wasn't able to come anyway, so that's why Matt was in my corner. And so for this fight, we got the original crew back together. So it seems a lot more normal than it was for last training camp, where we weren't really training the same way, and we couldn't really have everyone there.
How's this fight playing out? Kyle says he's going to knock you out. How do you think your fight plays with him?
Without giving too much away, I'll say this. You can't really find too much tape of me getting tired in fights, and you can't really find you can't find any film of me getting submitted. So there's a lot of different ways I can win this fight, and I think he's limited to how he can win the fight. And I think if I can avoid making any big mistakes in the first round, I'm going to be able to run away with this fight. And I don't want to get overconfident because I think my last opponent did that. He said he was gonna maul me, and it was a gift of a fight for him. So I would never do that. I think Kyle's a really tough fighter, and I think he's kind of in a desperate position. He's 1-2 in his last fights with the UFC. Obviously, if you go 1-3, it's not good. He could be on the chopping block. So I think a desperate fighter is a dangerous fighter, and I won't be overlooking him. I don't think he's overlooking me. I think he said some of those things because as a fighter you need to have confidence, and I think he does have confidence. But I'll just say this: I have a lot more ways I can win this fight than ways he can beat me, and in my opinion.
Switching gears a little bit here, I saw you got a cat. Coco's his name?
Yeah, Coco the cat. Yeah, I got she's in here right now. She's still a little kitten, and I had to take her to the vet yesterday. She's adorable, and my fiance was like, "Yeah, just take her to the vet, no problem." So I was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna grab this little cat and put her in her little travel thing." I didn't realize cats don't like to get put in little bags like that. So I tried to put her in, and she freaked out and ran off. So it's been a hassle because my dog's a really good listener, and I can say, "Hey, Cooper, come here and do this and that," and he listens right away. And I have no control over this cat. So she does whatever she wants. She knocks shit over all the time, and it was a process getting her in her little carry bag. I had to kind of trick her a little bit. So it's been cool, and I think my dog likes having someone to play with. So I wasn't really much of a cat guy before, but now, my dog and my cat, we got a nice little family thing going on here now.
That's awesome. I was going to ask you, what breed is your cat?
That's a good question. I know I just got the paperwork yesterday, so I should know this. I know it said something about being like a short hair cat. But my fiance found her, or one of her friends found her in the top of a wheel well.
Oh no!
So I'm not too sure. I know she's young. I think she's only like 10 weeks old right now. So she's not like any. I know she's not any like crazy purebred cat. She was kind of just like a little street cat, which I can relate to. She's a little tough little cat, and I don't really know exactly what type of cat she is, but she's coming around to me.
Good stuff. We're looking forward to this fight, UFC Fight Night, September 12th. Billy, thanks so much for the time, man. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or shout-outs, the floor is yours.
Yeah, for sure, man. Billy Q MMA on Instagram and Twitter. I've been using Twitter a lot more now. And, September 12th is going to be a great fight. Appreciate all my sponsors. Driven, I just got done working out with them. Southern Tire Company, my friend Troy, are the big ones that he actually just got done helping me out with my car. So those are the big ones. Of course, everyone at Gracie Tampa South has been helping me through this whole camp. And, just tune in, man. It's going to be a great fight, either fight of the night or performance of the night. I'm coming for that $50K.